Every single year, more than 30 million people set sail on cruises worldwide, and most of them have no idea that some of the foods they're eating on board could completely ruin their trip. Food poisoning, allergies, overly expensive meals, and even food-triggered seasickness are real problems that can affect cruisers without their anticipation. This can occur with anything from gourmet meals to buffet favorites that look safe. The good thing is that these food-related issues can be prevented to a reasonable extent, and we'll show you how. Whether you're a first-time traveler or a seasoned cruiser, knowing which foods to skip could save you from turning your dream trip into a disaster. Stick around, because once you know these, you'll never eat the same way at sea again. We'll start with the most surprising food that catches many cruisers off guard. Cruise trap number 7. Scrambled eggs in the buffet. Scrambled eggs are a breakfast staple, but on a cruise buffet, they are often a big disappointment. You won't find fresh eggs on most trays. Instead, they are filled with egg mix. They turn watery and salty, drying into unappetizing clumps under heat lamps. You don't want to start your day at sea this way. The goal of buffet dining is speed and quantity, not quality. Powdered mix makes it easy to serve a lot of people quickly, and thousands of people come through every day. But what's easy for the kitchen means bad taste for you. A lot of first-time tourists grab these eggs because they're ignorant, but they end up wishing they hadn't. The good news is that there are many better options on board. A place where you can make your own omelet can be found at almost all buffets. In this place, chefs crack real eggs in front of you and cook them hot. They offer plain scrambled eggs, or you can make your own breakfast by adding cheese, veggies, and meats. There is a huge change in how it tastes and feels. Skip the table and go to the main dining room instead if you want a quieter time. When you order breakfast here, it's made fresh right in front of you at your table, away from the crowds. It's all about making smart choices when you eat on a ship, not the dried eggs that have been sitting out for hours. Instead, choose eggs that are hot, fresh, and cooked right. If you can get better food right next door, don't settle for table eggs that taste like cardboard. Cruise trap number 6. Cruise buffet bacon. Under the lights, bacon at boat buffets looks good, but it doesn't always live up to the hype. Buffet bacon is paper thin, overcooked in bulk, and left under heat lamps. This causes the bacon to be either too dry and crumbly or limp and greasy, tasting stale instead of smoky. This happens because the cruise line feeds a lot of people at once. A lot of bacon is cooked ahead of time, piled high in pans, and kept under heat lamps until it's no longer fresh. Since old strips are often thrown on top of new ones, everything tastes the same: greasy and old. Don't go to the buffet if you really want pork. It's prepared in smaller amounts and served hot in the main eating room. It will be made just the way you want it, crispy or barely done. Fresh carved gammon or turkey is a better pick because it keeps its taste and texture better. Instead of using bacon from the spread that has been rushed through without being properly cooked, pair your eggs with fresh meat. Cruise trap number 5. Buffet sushi. Sushi may look fresh and fancy on a cruise buffet, but it's one of the worst things you can eat. Buffet trays don't always keep food at the right temperature for things like raw fish and cold rice. Bacteria can spread quickly in places with hot lights and a lot of people touching tongs and pots. What seems innocent can quickly turn into a long day in your cabin where you're sick. What's really wrong is the bulk prep. A lot of sushi is made at once and then left out to sit. As food is touched, it dries out, fish warms up, sauces separate, and germs spread when tools are shared. After sitting for hours, even cooked rolls like tempura or prawns are no longer safe. The cold chain is already broken, even though it looks fine at first glance. For the best sushi, go to the table as soon as it opens and pick from the trays that were just put out. Stay away from rolls that are soaked in sauces or mayo, and don't eat anything with bland rice or a mushy texture. But it would be smarter to stay away from buffet sushi altogether. On board, specialty sushi places make dishes to order using the right techniques. You can get cooked seafood served hot and fresh in the main eating room. At some informal decks, you can even have poke bowls or rice dishes made in front of you. Your trip and your health are worth more than a plate of sushi from the spread. If you stick to foods that are just made, you won't have to worry about anything. Cruise trap number 4. Dinner rolls in the dining room. The dinner rolls in the main dining room of a cruise ship look like they're not dangerous. They turn out warm, soft, and just the right shade of golden. When there is butter on the side, it's hard not to grab one as soon as the basket hits the table. They are one of the easier ways to ruin your meal though. Cruise eating is based on meals with more than one course. You can eat appetizers, main courses, and desserts, and the amounts are made so that you can eat them all. You'll get full too quickly when you eat a lot of bread before the main items are out. When the main dish comes out, whether it's the steak, crab, pasta, or something else you've been looking forward to, You're already full. You have to push the food around on your plate or skip dessert instead of enjoying it. Many people make this mistake because the rolls are tasty and the basket is always close by. It's easy to want to eat 2 or 3 small meals before the main course after a long day on board. However, you might miss out on more interesting foods that you can't make at home if you eat too much bread. It doesn't matter where you go for dinner. The best thing about a ship is the perfectly cooked seafood main course or specialty dish. Being moderate is the smarter thing to do. Have just one roll if you love bread that much. That way, you can enjoy the taste without getting full. Even better, skip them and save room for the main course. Or order more than one main course to try different things. Every day's dessert menu is also different, so skipping the bread lets you enjoy something sweet at the end of the meal. Every dinner on a ship is a big deal. Don't let something as simple as bread ruin the best part of your night. Cruise trap number 3. Bland burgers, dry hot dogs, and overheated BBQ. When your ship stops at a private island like Labadee or Coco Cay, the beach is beautiful, but the food at the spread isn't always great. What's served on land is generally simple, made in large quantities, and left out in the heat for too long. They often make burgers that are greasy and flat, hot dogs that dry out quickly, and BBQ chicken that is too done. Most of it doesn't taste fresh. Instead, it tastes rushed and of low quality. Back on the ship, the rules are different from these. Dining teams on board have full kitchens, more storage space, and the right tools for making food. At the island restaurants, the main goal is to feed thousands of people quickly and easily. That means range, taste, and freshness are not taken seriously. You might get fruit or a salad, but after being out in the sun, even those can feel limp. Making plans ahead of time is a better idea. You can relax on the beach, do water sports, or just enjoy the morning. For lunch, you should go back to the ship. The windjammer or main dining room will be open, offering much fresher food with a wider range of options, and it will be cool. You can skip the long dining lines on the island and still get better food. Bring a small snack from the ship with you before you go ashore if you don't want to go back right away. That way, when you get hungry, you won't have to rely on the island food alone. You could also eat breakfast earlier on board the ship. That way, you can enjoy your time on the island without having to think about a boring meal later. Cruise trap number 2. Buffet hamburgers. Hamburgers from the buffet might look like a quick and easy choice, but they're not one of the most filling foods you can eat on a ship. Most of the time, these burgers are cooked ahead of time in big batches and then left to sit for hours under heat lamps. As a result, the burger on your plate feels empty by the time it gets there because the patties are greasy and turn rubbery, and the buns are old and lose their softness. Even worse, the sauces don't really make it better. When you add lettuce or tomato from the food line, they are often limp, soggy, or tasteless. It all turns out to be less satisfying than nutritious. And since eating is such a big part of a cruise, it's never worth it to waste your hunger on a bland, greasy hamburger. You don't have to give up burgers completely, which is good news. A lot of ships have grills or dining rooms by the pools where you can get fresh cooked burgers right off the grill. Because these are made to order, they are hotter, juicier, and have more of the flavor you want. For lunch, go to the main dining room or one of the specialty spots if you want an even better choice. The sides that go with the burgers are generally fresher and look better. It's also better to order one when the grill first opens than to grab something that's been out for hours. When you eat your burger, it makes all the difference between it being hot and tasty and being cold and tough. Don't waste a meal on a cruise with lots of tasty food choices by eating a hamburger at the buffet. With a little planning, you can make a burger that tastes fresh and fills you up. Cruise trap number 1. Overly spicy or bean. Heavy buffet foods. When you're on a ship, the buffet lines are usually packed H options. The spicy curries, heavy chilies, and bean-packed stews are often the dishes that catch your eye. They might even taste good on the first bite and smell great, but they have a big problem. These foods are hard to digest, especially when eaten in large amounts. They can make you feel bloated, uncomfortable, or even have tummy problems the next day. On land, it's not fun to have an upset stomach. During a vacation, it can ruin the whole trip. Imagine planning a trip early in the morning to go snorkeling, camping, or exploring a port city. But because of what you ate the night before, you feel tired or stuck near the toilet. There's no reason to take the chance. You don't have to stay away from tasty food because of this. There are a lot of different kinds of food on cruise ships, and many of them are lighter and safer options that still taste great. When you have a lot to do, it's better to eat grilled fish, roasted chicken, fresh salads, and even milder foreign dishes. If you really want to try something from the spicier menu, wait until the next morning, when things will be less busy. That way, you won't miss out on fun things to do on land, even if your stomach hurts. Moderation is also very important. It's better to have a few small tastes than to pile a lot of beans and chili on your plate. The point of dining on a ship is to try new things and not feel bad about it. Pick meals that make you feel good and not tired. Before port days, don't eat buffet foods that are too spicy or full of beans. You'll be glad you didn't when you're out wandering. Instead of being uncomfortable, these are the 7 foods that you should never eat on a ship. These aren't small mistakes. Picking the wrong things can make you lose your hunger, get sick, or even ruin the fun you had planned for your trip. Now you know what to avoid and how to live a better life at sea. Avoid the powdered eggs, soggy bacon, risky sushi, and other junk food at the table. You should instead go for freshly cooked meals, eat in the main dining room, or go to a specialty restaurant where food is made just for you. If you do that, you'll enjoy every meal, feel better on the trip, and get the experience you paid for. Please like, follow, and share these tips with other cruisers if they helped you. Until then, eat well, enjoy your trip, and make every bite count.